Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with a new chapter afresh, which is from your class 6 NCERT. This is chapter number 8, which is titled as Rural Livelihood. Now when we talk about rural setup, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? You will have an image where farmers are working, fields are there, crops are there, these kind of things come. So when we say rural livelihood, that means the first thing is that we are going to talk about villages, rural setup. Now what does the word livelihood mean? Livelihood means these are the means or ways of making a living, like what people are doing, what occupations are they into to get the income so that the activities for daily livelihood can be, for daily activities can be met. So we actually talk about various activities and resources that allow people to live. Now livelihood of people will differ from region to region. Like if those who are staying in plains, they will have a different type of livelihood to the people who are living in mountain areas, right? So depending on the region, the crops or the plants that people will grow will be different. And again, because the crops are different, plants are different, so they are looking after the work that people will do, that will also vary. Plus the climatic condition also defined. A geographical and climatic condition defines the work done by people in different region. Now in rural areas, the work that people are engaged is the farming. So farming is your primary industry. Primary, when I say primary, that means that other industries are dependent on it. Like sugarcane is the agriculture produce. Now with this sugarcane, there are so many industries that are related. The first obvious one is from sugarcane is the sugar industry. Then we have jaggery, that is the product, and there are different other related industries further. Okay, so this is the prime, like this one example I give. Then we can have a lot of produce like cotton and other things which are on which the other industries are dependent. So that is why agriculture is your primary industry. And over here the things are produced directly for the first time in cooperation with nature. Okay, so there are different ways. In this chapter we will find there are different ways in which people earn their livelihood, and what are the problems and challenges are there which people living in rural areas are facing in their day-to-day life. Now this we did that kind of work that people do in rural areas. The first one that obviously comes into your mind is that they are involved in agriculture practices or the farming work. Now there are very many non-farming activities which are not directly related to farming or agricultural activities. Like your non-farming activities, when we say, then we can have examples like making baskets, pots, bricks, etc. Then we have services available given by people like your blacksmith, teachers, washermen, shopkeeper, small traders, weavers, etc. Okay, so we can have other non-farming activities like your dairy products, which is like your milk based, small scale manufacturing like this. Like earlier, this is the sugarcane crushing machine. Okay, earlier people used to crush sugarcane with the help of bullocks, but now with this they crush the sugarcane and produce jaggery and further sell it to traders to make small profits. Okay, but this is done at very small level. Okay, then we have shopkeepers, then we have related transport. Okay, so these are this picture shows certain activities which are non-farming. Now in this chapter we are going to talk about the livelihood of people living in rural areas. Okay, but we will learn them through stories. This chapter is actually about stories of different people through which we are going to learn about their livelihood, their daily life, what problems they are facing, how are they living. So this is the story based. The story is based in Kalpattu village. Now where is Kalpattu village? Kalpattu village is in Tamil Nadu, and it is close to the sea coast in Tamil Nadu. Now over here people do a lot of different kinds of work, but their primary occupation is growing paddy. Paddy means rice. Okay, the village is surrounded by low hills and most of the families earn their living through agriculture, and where primary crop that is grown is that remains paddy. Now there are other things that are also grown, like your cotton, sugarcane, plantain. Plantain is somewhat similar to it's a vegetable. It looks like banana. Okay, and we find coconut groves and mango orchards also in Kalpattu. Now the first story that we are going to listen or do through which we are going to learn about the people of this Kalpattu village is about Tulsi. Okay, so with Tulsi stories we will learn about the work and personal life of people, and especially about her. Now who is Tulsi? Tulsi is a landless labor in Kalpattu village. She works in the paddy field. You can see it here. She works on Ramalingam's land. Many workers used to work over here. Okay, and Karuna Thamma is Ramalingam's wife, who supervises the people's work who are working in paddy field. Now before she got married, she used to work as a laborer only. Here in Ramalingam pays her 40 rupees. Okay, but where she used to work before her wedding, she used to get more. But she is happy because Ramalingam he is a kind of person who provides dependable work. Okay, because like when you are involved in paddy, the Ramalingam, because he's a rich farmer, he would need people for preparing saplings, then transplanting paddy. Okay, then he would require them for weeding, and then finally for harvesting. So Tulsi knows that she will have dependable work for these four things from Ramalingam. Okay, so she is not going back to her village. Plus Ramalingam also doesn't go out hunting for laborers in nearby villages where he can find laborers as cheap as to go down below 40 rupees. So Tulsi is happy that she gets dependable work for rupees 40 a day, which is like, you can imagine what will you get in 40 rupees a day. So her lifestyle is that her working hours is from 8:30 to 4:30 in the evening. But now Tulsi is growing older, and you can see that this paddy field has to be filled with water for its growth. Okay, so she finds she has to bend down for all these activities. She has to bend down. Okay, so standing in water for so many long hours, she finds it very painful. Okay, but she has been doing it, and she has to continue working like it. Now if you see over here, if we start talking about the same paddy crop only, you require them for preparing sapling, then transplanting, then weeding, and then harvesting. So we can say that from June to December, or say post in between November and December, they are occupied, they have work to do. Now what do they do when for these areas, for these many months? How are they going to manage? Because now they don't have work. Okay, so what do they do? Like they go and they have alternative, they have to engage themselves in alternative work, otherwise where will the source of income come from? Now Raman, her husband, who's a laborer, he goes and work in a quarry or in the or at a place where the sand is extracted from the river. Okay, so these are the two places where he goes and works as a laborer to earn the income. Now apart from the work that she is doing in the field, she has to she has to do all her household chores, because that is needed. There are household works who will come and do it for her. Okay, so that involves her household chores, involve cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, and plus she goes to nearby forest to collect firewood, again that is needed for cooking at home. And she has school going daughters. Okay, one of them fell sick last year, for which, like, to get her treated in the hospital, she had to take loan for the treatment in exchange of cow from Ramalingam. So she got the money from Ramalingam, but she had to give her cow in exchange of the money. Okay, it was given money, the money was given as a loan, and once she repays, she will get the cow. So this was the story of Tulsi. We learned that how a landless laborer lives, okay, in Kalpattu village. Now we are going to talk about the second farmer, who is not a landless farmer, but he is a small farmer. His name is Shekhar. Okay, now he is another farmer. He is a small farmer. He does not have a large land, but whatever work related to farming is there, he would do on his own. Okay. Or like if all these small farmers, if they work with each other collectively, okay, if one farmer feels that his labor hours are required in another farm for the other farmer, he helps, and like this they help each other to get the work done, because they can't afford to pay to some other landless laborer, okay, because they're small farmers, so they do their work either on their own, or they help each other in getting the work done. Okay, now there's dependency on loan. Now why the dependency on loan is there? Because they have their own land. So what happens over here, that okay, they have money, they can afford buying good good seeds for their fields, okay, but there are further many requirements. You need irrigation system, you need good quality of manure, you need good quality of fertilizers, okay. So for that they have to buy, they need money to buy these things. So because they are small farmers, they are not having so much of surplus of money, so they borrow loan from money lender in the villages. Okay, so this is what that happens, they have dependency on loan. Now further, when the farming works, month of the farming are completed, when they do not have work but the money flow should continue, so what do? They work in Ramalingam's rice mill. Now what does Ramalingam do? He collects paddy or rice from locally from the village farmers, or from the nearby villages, and then he has a rice mill. He what is the work done in the rice mill? The way you get it in the packet, okay, the processing of rice is not that he's cooking rice for people, he's processing them into the final product to reach it to the customer the way you get, like in packet. This is the work that is done in Ramalingam's rice mill. Now there is a source with small farmers, they always keep a source of small extra income, like for Shekhar, he has a cow. What does he do? Like he will keep some milk which is given by the cow for his self consumption, and rest of the milk he sells off for additional income. So it brings us to the end of part 1 of this chapter. We'll continue in the second half and complete the chapter with that. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.